Joining me now in studio, Dudu, is someone from the ANC Women's League. That's the national coordinator for the ANC Women's League, Maropene Ramokgopa. Thank you so much for joining us in studio.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us.
I mentioned that there are constitutional amendments that have to be dealt with, and I know as the ANC Women's League you've been interested around the issue of gender parity and ensuring that there's 50% representation of women in the top 6. How hopeful are you that that's going to take off? Because it's easy for even some branch delegates and senior leaders to be excited about that and demonstrate commitment, but when the branches have to vote, even in 2017, you see that there's not a lot of appetite.
For now, we do believe that the appetite is definitely growing. Our proposal is definitely gaining traction. The reason we did not see a nomination of women or enough nomination of women during the branch process is that we were not necessarily clear exactly what is it that we would like to do. If you can look, our process of nomination happened late because we didn't want to do things haphazardly. We wanted the nomination process of the ANC Women's League actually to start at a specific point and then to take that official mandate that should be binding to everyone to take it to the branches. So by the time we finished with that, the branch delegation process was already done. So as a result, we did not necessarily panic, but we knew that there will be a process that would happen right here at conference where there will be further nominations from the floor, because that's one thing that is why we are not having any anxiety about this whole process. And we have now started to go around to negotiate with different provinces and with different delegations to say that can we talk about the issue of women, even if it's not necessarily the women that we nominated, but the women that are already there or that they are circulating, or women that maybe are actually having credentials that are enough to be able to lead us. Let us talk about that just to ensure that the issue of 50% gender parity does take place. We're also going to definitely support, of course, what you've just spoken about, the issue of having the top 7. And because of that, we are saying that we should not have less than 3 women in the officials. And where we are standing, we're very confident that we are doing very well as the issue of discussions and caucuses is actually unfolding.
As the ANC Women's League, just please remind me, did you nominate 3 women as a league? I know Thandi Modise, Phoebe Potgieter, was it Phoebe Potgieter?
Yes.
Who are the women that you nominated in the top 6 as the league?
We nominated 3 women, which was Thandi Modise as the Deputy President. We nominated Phoebe Potgieter as the Deputy Secretary General, and we also nominated Maropene Ramokgopa as the Treasurer General of the ANC. So we did do what we are actually preaching right now. Now what is left is for us to go out there and negotiate, because remember that conference is about negotiations. So you give and take so that you could be able to at least achieve principal issues that you've been raising.
So my issue is that this has been part of a conversation around the ANC for as long as I can remember. I mean, even in 2017, this proposal was there to have 50% of women in the top 6. But when you look at how the branches nominated their candidates this time around, overwhelmingly, those are men. In fact, the only 2 women who were overwhelmingly nominated by branches is Phoebe Potgieter and Nomvula Mokonyane. What does that tell us about ANC members on the ground and how they think and feel about women in the organization? Because when you look at the positions they're nominating them for overwhelmingly, it's almost like they think women are just administrators in the ANC.
Remember that, first of all, this particular matter that you are talking about, which has been a discussion since 2017, was not a constitutional matter. It was not a prescription in the Constitution itself. Where it prescribed on this particular matter was on the whole 85 or 86 of the NEC, and which we have actually been able able to meet. In fact, it started, the constitutional amendment that happened in 2007 spoke about the issue of 50% in the entire NEC. That did happen because it wasn't like that before. Now, this constitutional amendment is going to be done now and be adopted in this particular conference. We do believe that this is where you'll start seeing the ANC being able to do what it's supposed to do.
But you started the process late, because my understanding is you need to already start engaging branches before they come here, so that branches already have conversations about this constitutional amendment. It's almost like you are now relying on the branches from the floor. Are they going to accept this proposal or not? Could you have started this process much earlier?
No, we don't. We have been discussing with branches. Remember that we are also branch members ourselves in our majority. So we have been discussing the matter with branches for them, for the constitutional amendment. And the branches, because remember that the constitutional amendment must meet at least 2/3 of branches to be able to agree for it to come and be presented here. So 2/3 of branches have discussed this particular matter. Maybe in terms of nominations it was something else. Because even the nomination itself, if you can really take a magnifying glass and look at it, it was not like every province nominated in the same way. Hence, you would not find that out of the 4,000 delegation that we are expecting here, there's anyone who got 3,000 or 3.5. They are all less than 2,000. It's only the president who got more than 2,000. Therefore, it just tells you that it was just a general approach and a blanket where everybody was just nominating. And some got enough, some didn't get enough, because it doesn't mean that our people were not nominated. Maybe the other ones got more votes than ours. So ours now is to make sure that those votes that we did not garner on the ground when there were branch delegates, we garner them here. Because some other branches concentrated more on the issue of delegates. Even our members, as they were, they made sure that they do get delegates. They didn't get so much into the issue of nominations. Because we've got delegates now, and the policies of the ANC says that delegates have got the right to lobby and be lobbied until the 11th hour. It shows you that it has always been practiced that the reason we've got nominations from the floor is because there's an understanding that the delegates can come with a mandate from a branch. However, if they are being lobbied and they do believe that that lobby does make sense for the interest of the organization, they can change their mind and go back to the branch to report why did they change the mandate that was given. So this is our understanding, and that's where we are, and we are very confident that we are going to do well.
Okay, lastly, this conference is not just about electing leaders, it's about discussing key issues. As the Women's League, you want to advance especially issues that affect women in this country. What issues are you going to make sure they find expression in the commissions and in the plenary?
We are going to definitely speak, of course, about the issue of the amendment, as we've already said. But what is going to be key for us more than anything else, it is participation in the economy, most especially the just energy transition plan that the government has been able to put in place. We want to know exactly what does it mean. We want to unpack it to the core so that we can ensure that jobs are being saved, but we can also ensure that South Africa plays a role globally that would be able to allow it to do what it's supposed to do as it relates to domestic issues. But we are also in the main interested in ensuring that the strategic plan that was, the national strategic plan that was adopted recently of gender-based violence is spoken about, and it's not only spoken about, but we want concrete plans that would allow us to be able to come back from time to time to get to understand what is it that has been done, where have we had successes, and where have we failed. If then we have failed as government, what is to be done? Because we don't just want summits anymore, we want to see action, as it has been the plight of women out there, and as the biggest women organization or formation in the country, because we are, and we confidently say it, it is our responsibility to ensure that whatever women say out there does find expression in the organization itself.
Right. Maropene Ramokgopa, thank you so much for making time for us.